Week 2 of voluntary OTAs for the Arizona Cardinals is underway. Today we're going to be diving into the big storylines leaving Week 2, as well as we're going to be diving into the latest comments that Jonathan Gannon had to say about Kyler Murray's next steps, and we're going to be talking about a big national media outlet absolutely disrespecting our number one cornerback, all that and so much more. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the last week of voluntary OTAs for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, we are going to start off with who was absent and who was there. Now, I want to be very clear. Jonathan Gannon did come out and say that this is voluntary OTAs, and he wants to make sure that everybody's fully aware of that. There is players in different parts and different states of their NFL career, and this is voluntary OTAs. So Jonathan Gannon doesn't have a big issue with some players that were signed in free agency not being here. And at this very moment, what we really got to focus on is if they show up here on June 10th through the 12th, because that's where the mandatory minicamp actually starts, and that's where we start to panic. But let's go and first start off here with the absence, who was there and who was not there. Shout out to my guy Donnie Durham here from SI saying this, hashtag Arizona Cardinals safety Buda Baker is working off to the side at practice today, unknown why. Froholt, Williams, Calvin Beachum, Walter Nolan, all practicing after not doing so last week. I do not see Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Akeem Davis-Gaither, or Dalvin Tomlinson at practice. Now, I want to be very clear again, right, that this is voluntary OTAs and not mandatory OTAs. We panic next week if they don't show up. But for now, like I said before, Jonathan Gannon definitely seems to be a little... He seems okay with it, right? He seems okay at the end of the day. As long as there's communications amongst each other, there's a lot of things happening in their personal life, they probably couldn't have made it. Now, if there's one player on that list that I'm actually kind of not concerned with, but I don't know, I guess I'm question mark more than anything, right? And that's going to be none other than Akeem Davis-Gaither, one of the, I guess, big acquisitions that the Arizona Cardinals ended up making here in this last offseason in free agency. There's a big competition, at least in my opinion, with that middle linebacker spot, that's that Mike linebacker spot. And I think that Akeem Davis-Gaither, I don't know, I feel like he probably should have been here, but at the end of the day, I think Jonathan Gannon did say it perfectly. It probably was already communicated that he probably wasn't going to be here. I don't really know the ins and outs, but that is a position that's really, really unknown coming into the 2025 season. If you look at the depth chart, there's only one guy I'm really confident in that middle linebacking role, and that's going to be none other than Mack Wilson Sr. Now, we got a lot of people out there like the Cardinals bringing in J.J. Russell. You also do got another late round pick in Owen Papu. The Arizona Cardinals did also bring in Michael Walker, and they drafted Cody Simon with the 4th round pick here in 2025. So a lot of unknown when it comes down to the middle linebacking core. I would have just thought that the, Akeem Davis-Gaither would probably be here any chance to go ahead and fight for his role at the middle linebacking, spot, because Jonathan Gannon has come out and says whoever's going to be the best person is going to win this job, right? So that's really kind of the only one that really stands out to me. Calais Campbell has had so much, proven record that he really doesn't need to show up to these type of things. I think he already knows what he's going to do. Dalvin Tomlinson is definitely in that same boat. Josh Sweat is definitely in that same boat as well. Now, of course, Josh Sweat is a big storyline, being the fact that Josh Sweat was one of the biggest big splash moves that the Arizona Cardinals ended up making in this last offseason. And this is what Jonathan Gannon had to say about Josh Sweat.
Yeah, I think he's excited about being an Arizona Cardinal. He's excited to play football and help us win.
So as you can tell, there definitely doesn't seem to be any concern here with Josh Sweat missing both weeks of voluntary OTAs for the Arizona Cardinals. Definitely, I know for sure he's probably going to be here next week when it comes down to those mandatory mini camps. So I don't think we're really, really worried about that. Now, I definitely want to segue here into the thought of Walter Nolan, right? I've seen a couple comments out there from Cardinal fans coming out here saying that, oh man, Walter Nolan, already a bad look that he has not signed his contract, his rookie deal with the Arizona Cardinals. If you guys did not know, there is 26 players out of the 32 first-round picks that were already signed to their rookie deals, and Walter Nolan, among other 5 players in the NFL that was chosen in the first round, has not signed their rookie deal. Now, we don't know the ins and outs as to why he has not signed his rookie deal with the Arizona Cardinals as of yet. There was a really good question asked about last week where Walter Nolan was not participating in the drills. He was working off to the side. The question was Walter Nolan off to the side last week? Was it due to an injury or to a contract situation? And this is what Jonathan Gannon had to say.
With Walt being on the side last week, was that an injury issue or a contract issue?
Neither.
So, short and sweet, Jonathan Gannon came out and said, no, it had nothing to do with any of those things, but we did see Walter Nolan in multiple different videos participating in drills, and he looks pretty darn good. There's a lot of excitement here with the first round pick in Walter Nolan. There's a lot of people that were kind of high on this pick. There's a lot of people that were not very high on this pick, but I'm definitely one of those guys that really feel excited about Walter Nolan and what he can potentially accomplish here for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. And now he might not have a starting role with the Arizona Cardinals defense in week 1, being the fact that the Cardinals actually added a lot of talented players in this year's free agency class with Dalvin Tomlinson, Josh Sweat, as well as Calais Campbell, right? That's just to kind of name a few, but we're definitely going to start seeing the future of Walter Nolan and Darius Robinson maybe midway through the season, if not maybe towards the tail end of the season as well. So I'm really excited to see what Walter Nolan can do. He's already participating in these drills. He's involved with the team. He wants to be a Cardinal. It's just one of the big caveats out there is he's not actually put pen to paper and sign that rookie deal. Is there some concern that comes along with that? Yeah, but there's also 5 other rookies that were chosen in the first round as well that's not signed their rookie deal as well. So I think right now, let's just allow the business side to take care of itself and allow the football side to take care of itself. And right now, Walter Nolan has shown up to be pretty darn available for the Arizona Cardinals when called upon. And now let's go and dive right into the next topic here. Let's talk about what the latest comments of Jonathan Gannon was about our current quarterback number 1's next steps in Kyler Murray, what he would like to see here in 2025.
So Craig, Josh, honestly, just efficiency. You know what I mean? Let's make sure that we're every play we're getting something out of it. You know what I mean? I like where we're at from an operational standpoint. I know he feels really comfortable with the schematic parts, the things that we kept the same, things that we changed, and that'll be a work in progress. But he's working on things that he wants to work on, and then he's the leader of the offense, so he's responsible for all other 10 guys and himself out there. So he's doing a really good job.
Now, one of the biggest things that I want to talk about here, and I guess the big key word that, he really focused on was efficiency, right? He wants to see that every single play on the field gets something for this Arizona Cardinals offense. Now, we are going into year 3 of Kyler Murray, Drew Petzing, and Jonathan Gannon, and we are going into year 7 of Kyler Murray's just NFL career in general. And now, one thing I'm really curious is the Arizona Cardinals going to shift into being more of a balanced offense, where last year we were a run-heavy offense, and Drew Petzing absolutely exceeded in that situation where we were one of the best running attacks in terms of explosive runs. And obviously, James Conner had an absolute crazy year, being the fact that he is a very good, solid veteran that we can definitely ride into the 2025 season. The big question out there is, are we going to start getting that passing attack going, right? Because we've seen a lot of miscommunication with Kyler and the wide receiver number 1 in Marvin Harrison Jr. We would love to see a lot of those things get cleaned up, but I kind of love the fact that Jonathan Gannon came out and said that he wants to see efficiency, right? We want to see more a consistent manner. And I think that's definitely one thing you're going to be hearing a lot from this coaching staff and probably a lot of the media outlets out there is, were the Arizona Cardinals efficient here in the offensive side of the ball? Were they consistent on the offensive side of the ball week in and week out? Because too many times have we seen the Arizona Cardinals be very, very good in the beginning part of the season and then crash and burn in the tail end of the season as well. So, and the next steps here are, per Jonathan Gannon, is to be efficient and have this Arizona Cardinals offense run the way that it should be running. Now let's move on over to the next topic, and that's going to be none other than PFF absolutely disrespecting our number 1 cornerback in Garrett Williams, former 3rd-round pick out of Syracuse. In his sophomore year last year, he took a big jump from year 1 to year 2, and I think a lot of people are expecting a huge jump from year 2 to year 3. And I want to add here that PFF has had multiple different posts about how high they graded Garrett Williams throughout the entirety of the 2024 season. He was top 5, top 6, top 7 in terms of one of the best grades, right? He was seen to be a lockdown quarterback in his own respected right. Now, of course, the Arizona Cardinals defense did not get a lot of love last year because we did not have a lot of good crucial pieces, and that was with a bad defensive line in terms of how Garrett Williams looked. Imagine with this really good defensive line the Arizona Cardinals have going into 2025, it's going to be none other than, it's just going to be skyrocket from here on out. But I want to go ahead and preface and talk about how disrespectful PFF has come out and said that Garrett Williams is listed as or ranked number 22 in the NFL going into 2025. Now, there is some pretty respectable names on here. I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, Garrett Williams should have been number one. No, right? He shouldn't be. But I want to be very, very clear, right? Like, number one, they have Sauce Gardner. Number two, they got Patrick Surtain. Next, they got Trent McDuffie, right? They got some really good cornerbacks on here. But then you got some also other players on here like, I don't know, Christian, Benford. You got, Jair Alexander, which I really do like, but he's getting older. He's not as great as he used to be. Jalen Ramsey definitely lost a step. I don't think he was as great as he once was, but he's a good asset for sure. But you also got some people on here like the two cornerbacks here in Seattle. You got Reek Woolen, and then up here you also do got Devon Witherspoon as well, which they are good cornerbacks. I'm not gonna come out here and say they're not good cornerbacks, but like, man, Garrett Williams being right here at number 22 is absolutely outright disrespectful in my opinion. Let's go and dive right into exactly what they said about Garrett Williams, and then we'll kind of move on. It says this: after struggling in his rookie season and missing more than half the year, resulting in a 57.2 PFF coverage grade, Williams was excellent in 2024 with an 83.7 PFF coverage grade, fourth best and the seventh best PFF advanced coverage grade. If he's able to replicate a sophomore campaign in which he allowed 0.68 yards in the second fewest yards in coverage, Williams could jump into the top 10. Well, it's one of those things where I guess they want to see it in a consistent manner, and I guess I respect it in that sense of it all, but man, Garrett Williams should definitely at least be in top 15. There's some players out here that I feel like he should definitely way better in. Now, he is a slot cornerback on paper. Are the Cardinals going to move him to the outside? I don't know. It definitely feels like he's going to stay in that nickel position, which I'm completely 110% okay with that, because with the addition of Max Melton that the Arizona Cardinals ended up adding last year in the 2024 NFL draft with a second-round pick, and then in this year, the Arizona Cardinals doubled down in the second round and getting Will Johnson out of Michigan. So I'm absolutely okay with, obviously, Garrett Williams staying in the nickel position, that slot position. I think he's going to definitely excel in that position, but I think right now it's just one of those things where there's a lot of Cardinal fans that have a big issue with ranking him this low. He definitely deserves to be a lot higher, and that's the truth. He definitely deserves to be a lot higher, but I guess maybe we'll have to kind of wait and see, what happens here in his year 3. A, if he's able to stay healthy, and B, if he's able to replicate what he did in his sophomore year, because I'm going to be honest here, he did a pretty darn fantastic job in year 2 with the Arizona Cardinals, and that's with a pretty bad defensive line. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and tie a bow on this video. What are you excited about heading into 2025? Are you concerned with Walter Nolan not signing his contract? Are you concerned with any of these veterans not showing up in voluntary OTAs? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.